Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Football Stooges. We have a busy week to get to. The Wildcard weekend is officially over, and we are now looking at the divisional round. And there were some big upsets that we have to take a look at. Not to mention the college football playoff is entering its final game starting on Monday, so only in a few days from walking. So, as always, welcome to the Football Stooges, the stupidest way to cover football imaginable.
And boy, is it stupid.
It's going to get real stupid this year. So I can do it myself. I'm your host, Love City. As always, I need my compatriots to shoot me 4 others that help out with this episode of the week. First up, the Philly man himself, the Purell hand sanitizer of the Football Stooges, and officially his last episode in his apartment moving into his house. Congratulations, Master.
Yeah. Also, yes, there were upsets, but there were some bad games. It just looked bad.
Yeah, there was a lot of bad games. Next up, a man who was not watching playoff football, but could possibly see a team not far away in South Bend host a national championship. Please, I'm begging you, Marcus Freeman, don't let Ohio State win. It's Mamba.
Dude, if Notre Dame wins, actually, what would I do?
As a Purdue
Well, Marcus Freeman gets hired as new head coach.
Also, Bears, don't take McCarthy, please. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Because, Mike McCarthy got fired, but still the Cowboys were not letting the Bears interview him.
Yeah,
and the Bears were doing online interviews.
Yeah, it's weird because they didn't exactly fire him, but Jerry Jones did say, "Here's a box, clear out your shit and leave." So,
yeah. Anyway, next up, the man who was probably very depressed from last week and is not wearing his Packers gear for an obvious reason, Scorlami.
I'm depressed for more than one reason.
Yep.
This one's for you, Bob.
Just a bit outside.
Just a bit outside.
Legendary, remind me of his last name. I'm not big into baseball.
Euchre.
Bob Euchre.
Legendary, I believe, announcer or play-by-play I don't know, is there a specific name for baseball?
Play-by-play commentator for Milwaukee Brewers.
For the Milwaukee Brewers passed today at the age of 90, so condolences.
He was the only reason. He was the reason I would watch the Brewers because he was just that good at his job.
Baseball announcers got to be good. There's a lot of downtime. It's almost like golf announcers. You got to be able to be, even golf in spring.
Harry Callis was one of the best.
Joe Castiglione for the Sox. Can you believe it?
Yep. And last but certainly not least, a man who is probably going to regret the next little bit as he is about to take a shot of Old Bay vodka. It's K-Duff.
I'm in the Camden Yard smoking that Lamar Jackson playoff pack. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. Yeah, it just tastes like regular vodka. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, it hits you on the aftertaste, actually. Yeah.
Blacked out on the Percocet. Ordered a Desert Eagle off Amazon.
Is it bad or is it or?
I mean, it tastes just like normal vodka at first, and then it kind of hits you with that little bit of spice taste in the aftertaste. So
it's like
that's gonna be fun to mix next week.
Hint of lime, like chips.
Not even close to lime. Not even close.
I'm saying in the fact that it's a hint of Old Bay. It's not like Old Bay is hitting you in the face. It's like vodka and there's like a little.
Oh, then yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it really wasn't that bad. Damn, I should have really gotten the Doritos vodka shit.
Oh, it'll be worse when I mix it in with the other 4 drinks that are coming next week. So reminder. Just a reminder for people watching. I lost fantasy football for the 2nd year in a row, which means I've already gotten one of the ingredients of the shitty cocktail I have to make because the rest of these assholes decided it's NB stuff. And Muzzy. I like Muzzy, but I don't like it when he sends me disgusting liquors to mix together.
I sent you a great one.
You sent me Jaeger.
Yeah, it doesn't mix good with anything.
So
yeah, well, it's going to be worse because...
Old Bay vodka, warm Smirnoff, Jägermeister, and Jim Beam.
Okay, before he mixes the Malort in, he needs to take a shot of it just straight. Just take a shot of Malort.
I agree. I do agree.
You have to experience Malort first.
I think I saw this TikTok, which RIP, I think by the time this gets posted, it'll be gone. But I saw a TikTok that somebody made that was like they got all their friends together and they had to take a shot of Malort and said, Jepson's Malort, I'll have another after they drank it. And most of them couldn't even get to Malort. It was just like, Jeff's... It was bad. I'm really surprised.
Really
I'm kind of shocked that I like Muzzy's warm Smirnoff taste. It's a little bit different, and Jaeger I kind of get. I'm surprised, Madison, you didn't go with some random. There's a lot of Beam flavors. I was expecting Beam apple, Beam vanilla.
Well, when you kept
Red
on asking
Stag.
me, I was doing stuff like I was dealing with the house stuff. I was working out. I was like a lot of my mind.
I was actually telling some close friends about this, and one that's originally from Chicago. I told them I mentioned the word Malort, and they just sent me this.
Yeah. Oh, I need to see this.
All right.
I'm gonna enjoy that bottle of Malort.
I'll have to see. I think it's probably he's taking a sip of it, and it's getting turned into a Molotov cocktail for the next Boston Red Sox game. So
sure,
but
or the Bruins.
Yeah, the Bruins.
It depends on how badly they.
Madison, I'm surprised you didn't send Kate off a mason jar.
Oh, like moonshine? Fucking hell.
Yeah, but let me go 5 fucking hours. I don't even have time. And
you could have. Old Smoky was an option. Old Smoky's kind of readily available in most states.
Yeah, actually, we use that in
moonshine, but they have so many weird flavors. Just like a
Eggo. They have an Eggo flavor.
Yeah, my brother had a blackberry moonshine from them that we use for a cocktail for over the holidays.
Snickerdoodle, watermelon, creamy cherry, apple. Yeah, there's a bunch of different.
It's just going to taste like Everclear at the end of the day, anyways.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, we got a lot to get to. We got to cover Wildcard weekend, talk about the divisional round that's upcoming, and also talk about college football. So quickly, let's go ahead and take a look at the crossover grid and get into the episode.
My playoff bracket still lives.
Okay,
I'm one game behind.
Played for Pete Carroll and was a first-round pick. Wait. Does this count college? Because we could go USC here. We could go Reggie Bush.
I don't think it's going to count.
It's not going to count.
Possibly.
No, it doesn't count. Dang it. Okay, well, I tried.
All right,
anyway, moving forward to the NFL. A first-round pick. He was only a Seahawks coach. Let's see. Russell Wilson? Was he a first round? No, he wasn't.
No, he was third rounder. I'm trying to think first-round picks during the Legion of Boom era.
Seahawks.
Chancellor and Bobby Wagner was a second and third-round pick.
Oh, hold on.
I don't think Sherman was a first.
Kearney could work. No.
Hold on.
I'm trying to think. What about
Lynch?
Devin Witherspoon?
Oh, hold on. What about Tyler Lockett or DJ Moore?
Oh yeah, try one of those guys.
Nope.
No, not Tyler Lockett. DJ Moore?
Nope.
No.
All right, try
another receiver.
Was it Marshawn Lynch a first rounder?
I don't think he was.
Golden Tate?
Nope.
Yes, Marshawn Lynch was. Marshawn Lynch was.
Okay, Marshawn Lynch.
There we go. Okay. Played for head coach Pete Carroll and was an Eagle. So anyone that's been a Seahawk in the last 10, 15 years and that played for the Eagles. So Masson, this might help out with you here.
That's what I'm trying to think. Was Golden Tate on the Seahawks, if I remember right, or was he
just also a reminder? Pete Carroll also was a head coach of the Patriots for a short while.
Golden Tate.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well that
10
works.
10 sacks in the season. Let's see.
I mean Bobby B.
Bobby Wagner, Cam Chancellor.
Oh.
You got Bobby Wagner, Cam Chancellor. Oh.
Dude, what? Chancellor has to. No?
Nope.
Fucking hell.
Those guys were all DBs. The Legion of Boom never had
Chancellor was a linebacker.
Yes. Well, he was, but also he played nickel a lot. So, but the Legion of Boom, to me, their weakest area was always their D line. It wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, but it was not like they had Bobby Wagner and they had Richard Sherman and they had Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas. But when you go to the defensive line, the big names weren't there the same way that they were in the defensive backfield. So, 10 packs this season, played for Pete Carroll. Could we do Mike Vrabel?
I was actually going to say Michael Bennett, but...
No. Which one? 2018? 2015? 2018? 2001, 2010?
Yeah, 18, I think.
Nope.
Okay, try the other one, maybe? Because I know Bennett played for Pete Carroll. He had to have had sit.
No? Dang.
What?
It has to be
way.
head coach Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I know.
Frank? Hold on. I almost said Frank Clark, but no.
Nope.
Fucking hell.
Hey, wait, hold on.
Try Frank.
No.
Frank.
Oh.
Dunlap.
Carlos Dunlap.
That's a good one.
Okay, 10 interceptions
sacks.
on defense and a first-round pick, Deion Sanders.
Well, of course. Deion Sanders.
10 interceptions on defense, and I'm thinking Weapon X, Brian.
Brian Dawkins. You got Asante Samuel, I think. You got Malcolm Jenkins.
10 career interceptions on defense with 10 sacks in a single season.
Ooh.
This has got to be probably a middle linebacker.
Middle linebacker.
Urlacher.
Maybe.
Urlacher probably could have done that, yeah.
No.
I guess not.
Hold
Lewis
on.
definitely.
Oh no, Jerry Allen was a defensive end.
Ed Reed? No, he was more of a safety.
He blitzed a lot though. He did come down on blitz. So
true.
No.
Okay.
No.
AJ Hawk.
There's no way.
No way.
There's no way. There's no
Damn
way.
it.
I still forget
JJ.
that he's the Packers' leading tackler of all time. That's crazy.
He is,
Yeah. Try JJ Watt, maybe? I don't fucking know.
There's no way as a defensive lineman he's getting that many interceptions. Yeah, 10 sacks for sure.
Okay.
Interceptions? This has got to be a real dual threat guy.
Hold on. Shit, nope.
I don't think Gerard Mayo had like
maybe this is where we do Cam
interceptions.
Chancellor? No, we already tried him above. We get 10.
Yeah.
So no.
Gerard Mayo then, I guess? I don't fucking know. Just when he was a player at least.
I think it's one. Yeah, it's one.
No.
Charles Woodson.
No, he does not have He does not have 10 sacks in the season.
Oh.
What about
Ray Lewis?
we tried that. I'm trying to think other
really?
big linebackers. What about Julius Peppers?
Did we try Terrell Suggs?
Suggs would work actually. Okay.
Wow, shit, dude.
Wow,
Julius
man.
Peppers?
Yeah, the D lineman, we'll try it. Julius Peppers. Pro Football.
I got a fun
we
one
can do
for
it,
you. This
everybody
works
here.
for me. This works for me, and this works for you. Ron Kramer.
Oh.
For this one, the Pro Football and
What?
Was he not a first
That's
round
where
pick?
he was a first round pick, but isn't he in the Hall of Fame?
hold on, I'm checking.
Me and
let's
you and
think
me
of an
both.
obscure first round pick. An obscure first round pick.
played
There's
for
a lot of easy
Michigan.
ones that we could say.
Nope,
He's in the College Football Hall of Fame.
not the Pro Football.
Yeah, not the Pro Football. Okay, so Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee that was a first round pick. Let's think of a really obscure one. There's a lot of easy ones we could say. We can name any like real big.
Yeah,
big time player.
Was Anthony Munoz a first round pick?
Yes, he was. I think he was one of the first picks. Yep, Anthony Munoz. Shout out.
Damn.
I thought that wouldn't be
Wow,
obscure enough,
point
but I guess that is .82, yeah. Pro Football Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
it's an eagle. Master to name a random eagle that's in the Hall of Fame.
Shit. I'm trying to see if I can go with the obscure
Randall
one.
Cunningham?
I don't know if he's in it or not.
He's got it. There's
Actually,
no way. One of the pioneers of running the football after Fran Tarkenton.
But the thing is, though, that offense here with the Eagles was not that good.
Really? How can you not put Randall in the Hall of Fame?
The obvious one is Reggie Bush, but we're not going to go with that one.
I think we also already did him.
Why Reggie Bush? He was never Eagle.
I'm trying to think.
Reggie White. Fuck.
Yeah, Reggie White.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about Reggie White?
Reggie White. There is Donovan McNabb isn't in. Terrell Owens.
Donovan
Is Terrell Owens in?
T.O.? I
He is.
think he is.
He is.
So yeah,
But that's kind of.
I mean, he got in as a Bengal, so I mean,
Still counts, I suppose.
yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to think. Carmichael. Harold Carmichael. That's who I was trying to think of.
Harold.
Hey, he did just show up as
Hey. Pro
Right,
Football Hall of Fame
Hall of Fame
with 10 sacks. So really good edge rusher, Jack Youngblood.
Sure.
There we go.
Okay.
Let's see this one. This one was tough. So let's look at some of the other ones. Julius Peppers. There's also Lawrence Taylor here. Reggie White here. Peyton Manning.
Oh, Taylor could work.
Deion Sanders. Rashad Penny.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And also Michael
Wait, I
Bennett.
did say Michael Bennett. Why didn't that work?
Must have been another one we didn't think of. Let's look here. So this is someone who has 10 career interceptions on defense and 10 sacks. Mike Vrabel.
Joey Porter, the original Joey.
I was going to jokingly say it, but I didn't think he had.
So that right there, that's Clay Matthews above Gorlami's head. That is Clay Matthews' dad, who is also related to Bruce Matthews. I believe that's his brother. So Bruce Matthews was one of the best linemen of all time. He played all 5 positions.
Well, I got Reggie Williams above my head.
Yeah, Billy Ray Smith, Bill George, Matt
Hazelstein,
Rod Martin. Scroll down. I can't scroll down. It's actually I can't. There.
Oh, right. Oh.
That's it. Oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Damn.
Otis Wilson, though. I think I've heard that name
10,
once or twice.
11, 12, 13, 14 options here.
I got
Vrabel. I didn't expect Vrabel to be there. So Joey Porter, shout out. Okay,
I thought he had a 10-sack season.
Moving on to college football real quick. We have officially seen the 2 semifinal games end. It was Notre Dame versus Penn State and Ohio State versus Texas. Notre Dame and Penn State was pretty close at the end, but Notre Dame did pull away.
More like James Franklin fucked up.
Yeah, James Franklin.
That
early on, the interception late. There was a drive late by Penn State in order to try to come back into the game. It did not end up well. Drew Aller interception. So Penn State seems to be, from what I can tell, on a certain Michigan path. A lot of guys that were junior level, that were NFL ready, that now are coming back because they fell short in the semifinal. Who knows what they're going to do next year? I don't think they'll do a lot with James Franklin as head coach. We'll see. Notre Dame advances to the final.
Losing Abdul Carter to the draft.
And it's finally happened. Quinn Ewers has led Ohio State to the national championship, except he plays for Texas. So
here's the plus side, though. Arch Manning next year. Ewers is NFL bound.
Did Ewers declare for the draft?
He did.
I thought he went to the transfer portal.
Beck from Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck Beck, yeah.
Yeah, Carson Beck is actually going to Miami, which is crazy because Gunnar Stockton played well, but I didn't think it was well enough to dethrone.
He's thinking like Cam Ward jumped over me on the position chart for the draft this year. I'll just go to his college next, I guess.
He might show out. Who knows? He might show out. Carson Beck's not horrible, but he's also not great from what I've seen so far. So Ohio State's dominant defense and strong offensive play, especially on the back of their $20 million roster, has really propelled them into this final game. And so we will see in Atlanta, Georgia at 7:30 p.m., right after the divisional week is over on a Monday night. We will see Ohio State and Notre Dame play against each other. I'm excited to be able to watch this. I actually get this day off, which is, I'm kind of glad as well to watch it. I have some interest. Obviously, I want Notre Dame to win, but I have a lot of friends at work who are all Notre Dame fans, and I felt really bad that this game was on Monday, but we get Martin Luther King Day off, so thankfully a lot of them will be able to watch it and won't have to, take off work or anything like that, so that'll be cool. But yes, go Notre Dame. I was fine with Ohio State winning 1, maybe 2 games college football playoff. Do not win it all. No! Ryan Day is definitely getting into the college football championship. I don't want them to go any further, okay? Marcus Freeman, shut it down. Shut it down.
Okay with Ryan Day. You're okay with Ryan Day because he's going to lose to Michigan.
Yes, exactly. Yes, 100%, exactly. That is, easy.
This is the only time I will ever say go Irish.
There's a couple other times I'll say go Irish, but yeah, go Irish here. If they're playing Michigan State, go Irish. If they're playing
Michigan State too. Fuck those guys.
That's actually a rivalry game apparently. There's a championship trophy they play for. It's like a cheerleader horn thing, that they yell through. Apparently there's one that's like an old one that's like Michigan State on one side and Notre Dame on the other, and they play for it. I don't know. But Ohio State and Michigan. Also, SEC, hold it. Not even your first year team could get into the championship game. You only had one team make it to the semifinal, and you had a basically Big Ten or ACC team in Notre Dame, however which way they go, they're not SEC, destroy your championship contender in Georgia. So
7th and 8th seeds Monday night for the national championship.
Yeah. I mean, the seeding helps, but at the same time, if you're not prepared, you're not prepared. So, anyway, let's move into KDF News, and then we'll get down to business with the NFL.
All right. So starting out with
Another
a
shot
little
of
bit
vodka for good luck.
Nah. All right. Starting out for injury news is kind of limited because, as I've discussed, like when we get into the playoffs, I mostly just focus on the playoff teams, considering that they're the ones still playing. The only one I've got that's out for the year. Sorry, Maston. Eagles linebacker Nakobe Dean tore his patellar tendon, so he's done for this run.
I saw that earlier. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, so that's kind of a big loss for you. Sorry to say. Short to long-term stuff. Lions guard Kevin Zeitler is going to be missing at least the divisional round with a hamstring injury. And as we go into questionables, going by team, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson has a minor back injury. Ravens wide receiver Zay Flowers is doubtful because of a knee injury. Lions are expecting to get back running back Dave Montgomery from the MCL injury he had during the regular season. Bills standout rookie running back Ray Davis is in concussion protocol. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco has got a rib injury. Rams tight end Tyler Higbee has an undisclosed chest injury. Texans running back Joe Mixon for the upteenth time this fucking season is back on IR with a possible ankle injury. Defensive end Will Anderson Jr.'s got an elbow injury, and Commanders linebacker Bobby Wagner with an ankle injury. Other than that, it was a kind of a scary hit, but luckily Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs left their loss to the Eagles on Wildcard weekend only with a concussion, considering he was down for a long while in the end zone after taking a pretty serious fall. It was kind of serious looking, but it looks like he's okay. Someone that's not going to be okay, Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. As we discussed last week, he had a bit of a setback in his rehabbing his Achilles. Turns out that setback is re-rupturing the same Achilles while he was in Miami. His current recovery time is going to be yet another 7 months, but could see him miss the majority, if not the entirety, of next season.
It's even funnier the second time.
Yeah, and all I can say is like this came up apparently like within the week after he posted a picture of him and I guess a girl he was hanging out with. Well, he didn't seem to be wearing like any protective like boot or brace on his leg of the Achilles he ruptured, so that just screams like you're asking for it. Someone that's also been like working through stuff. Apparently, Broncos quarterback Bo Nix has been playing through the latter half of the season and into wildcard weekend, reportedly through multiple fractured vertebrae in his back, probably from carrying the team so hard. And Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh announced that he will be undergoing 2 major surgeries this offseason, one being a hip replacement, as apparently he's been limping a lot because of a bit of an injury he suffered while he was still at Michigan. And the other is something called a cardiac ablation to treat the irregular heartbeat. He does have an arrhythmia condition that has seen him have to leave games temporarily or for the full games in the past because of the condition. So hopefully this will correct it, and we wish him a speedy recovery in both those regards. As for releases and retirements and holdouts and stuff like that, also a bit of a signing news because for the 4th time in this calendar year, Texans wide receiver Deontay Johnson has been released after only 2 games with the team. This is allegedly after he threw a tantrum in the locker room after their win on wildcard weekends, after he was barely involved in the team. He has since been reclaimed on waivers by the team that initially released him, the Ravens. So this guy's just being passed around like a fucking blunt.
He was cut by the Texans in the postseason after winning a playoff game, and now could go to the Ravens, who are in a playoff game against the... What the fuck?
The Bills. They're facing against the Bills.
His career path this season has been weird. Like in the offseason, he went from being a Pittsburgh Steeler to being traded to the Panthers. Panthers released him. He's got picked up by the Ravens. Ravens released him. He's played 2 games with the Texans, and now he's back in Baltimore.
He's played for an 1/8 of the league in a single season.
Yeah. Crazy. Also, the only other thing I have for the releases and stuff, it's not released, but Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers, he's stated that his decision for his future for next season, whether it's from him staying another season in Gotham or if he moves on / retires, it all hinges on depending on who they're going to be hiring, who the team, is going to be hiring for the new head coach general manager combo. And to that end, we can add on a few new names to the head coach interviews as we go into miscellaneous news, including a couple guys from the college rankings. Speaking of which, Mamba, Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman has been getting a couple requests, as has University of Maryland head coach Mike Loxley and Iowa State head coach Matt Campbell. No, I don't believe there's any relation to Dan. Also being interviewed is Saints interim head coach Darren Rizzi, Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham, Buccaneers offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, Texans offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick, and Seahawks assistant head coach Leslie Frazier. And we can also add the Cowboys to that list, as we discussed earlier in the podcast during the intro. They are mutually parting ways with Mike McCarthy after they were apparently committed to it so much that they told the Bears to fuck off from trying to request an interview with them. So that just seemed like it was done for no reason. We can also cross off a team that is looking for a new head coach because I manifested it and it happened. The Patriots have announced that they have hired former Titans head coach Mike Vrabel as their new head coach. And now there's rumors that we're also...
So if we manifest things, they'll happen, right? So when I keep manifesting that the first pick in the draft for the Patriots is going to be a Cole Strange lookalike from Holy Cross, it's going to happen, right?
I will dox you and mail a bomb to your house if you do that.
In Minecraft.
Yeah. Anyway, seriously. And while a former Patriot has earned a coaching job, and another one has lost one, as the Dolphins have fired wide receivers coach Wes Welker, along with special teams coordinator Danny Crossman. Giants have fired. Unfortunately, did not fire. Why am I blanking out his name? Their head coach. Brian Dable, thank you. But they are firing both their defensive back coaches, Michael Trier and pass game coordinator Jerome Henderson. And another promotion.
I would give it another year for Dable because that situation is just bad after losing like Barkley in free agency and dealing with Daniel Jones. There's not much the Giants can do.
Yeah, I guess. But if they start to look like they're fucking up Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders' development, then he's probably out by then.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
For another hiring, the Browns we're looking to interview probably a couple other people, but they have instead promoted tight end coach Tommy Reese to offensive coordinator. As for stuff outside of the coaching stuff, actually I take it back. Outside of the still sticking to the coaching stuff, because apparently the Cowboys have been, especially Jerry Jones, is heavily got a hard on for trying to hire University of Colorado head coach primetime Deion Sanders.
No.
However, Sanders has since put out a statement thanking certain teams for reaching out to him about coaching positions, but he plans to remain in Boulder for the foreseeable future coaching the Buffaloes, even after his sons are both going to the draft this year.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I can't see Deion coaching an NFL team.
I mean, we said we couldn't see him coaching a college team, and he actually did pretty well. Now, albeit he did have some insane recruiting and transfer flips in guys like Travis Hunter and his son.
He's also got Bill Goldberg's son as well, I think, on the linebacker core.
Yeah, there's he's got a lot of good flips from it. You can't do that same thing in the NFL, so I don't know what'll happen there. But I don't put it beyond him that he's proved a lot of the doubters wrong. If he gets to the NFL level, who knows?
Yep, because we've seen a lot where college coaches do not pan out at the NFL level. I'm not sure where that will go with a guy like Deion, who's had a pretty decent run in a Boulder so far. Speaking of Boulder, though, I got to bring this down a little bit. As a former head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, Bill McCartney has passed away at the age of 84. He coached football for multiple decades, most notably with Colorado and the University of Michigan. He's Colorado's winningest head coach ever with a 93, 55, and 5 record over 13 years. And completed his career as a inductee to the College Hall of Fame, 1 national championship, 3 Big 8 championships, and multiple Coach of the Year awards. So rest in peace to him. Also, sticking in the college ranks for a bit, LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacy is expected to be a second-round pick at least this year. He's being investigated by Louisiana State Police for a hit-and-run last month that resulted in the death of a 78-year-old man. So we'll see how that goes for him. Could go pretty badly. Getting on to somewhat lighter news, Lions offensive tackle Penei Sewell has become the only tackle since Bengals legend Anthony Munoz to make first-team All-Pro twice before he turns 25. We've got the NFL and federal law enforcement announcing that they are planning to heavily increase security around New Orleans for the Super Bowl in the wake of the New Year's Day terror attack that occurred there earlier this month. The next year's games in London are already expected to include Jaguars, Browns, and Jets. multiple NFL teams are including the Chargers, Rams, Vikings, and Texans are making monetary donations to support families affected by the LA wildfires. Once again, I think I speak for all of us when our heart goes out to all those people affected by them. And from the sounds of it, because of the Santa Ana winds dying down, they're going to be much more controllable and hopefully a lot more able to be contained coming this next week. So good luck in that case. And finally, this is going to be a bit of a controversial one because I kind of want to hear you guys' debate on this one because it involves a somewhat interesting rule change here. The NFL has been handed a proposal that considers a rule change that would replace the onside kick. In the place of the proposal, teams would instead get a single 4th and 20 down, which if successfully converted will allow them to maintain possession.
This is XFL rule, no?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, onside
just
kick
back
are,
to the podcast view so we can all talk. But yeah,
sure. Go
I mean, onside kicks is basically done. There's
you can't. I mean, the removal of the surprise onside kick is horrible.
Yeah.
If there isn't a way to bring that back, then I'm in favor of the 4th and 20.
I will say though, there is a bit of a argument on the no side, as I've been seeing, is that the 4th and 20 is, even though it's still statistically very rough to try and convert, is a lot more able to be converted than an onside kick. So you could literally just say it's like a Patriots Bengals, and you've got Joe Burrow, who is of course a god among men when it comes to passing. Just have him go out there, pass it to Jamar Chase, as you get it instantly. So some teams that have like a good quarterback,
we'd throw a screen.
or some. Well, that's true. I forgot. That's all Zach Taylor knows how to use.
Yeah.
We throw a
but
screen.
remember that, like what's going to be difference percentage? So like onside kicks basically 0.05% chance of getting now. So
something
you
like that.
Maybe like a 0.8% chance now. So it's
there's a lot.
Maybe it'll increase, but I don't think it's going to be as high as people think.
Maybe
I got some extra news, K-Duff.
Yeah.
The Packers have parted ways with their defensive line coach.
Really?
What, just now?
Kaylee,
Yeah, Jason Rebovich, after 3 seasons, has been let go.
Rebovich. Oh yeah, that just broke about a half hour ago.
I don't know. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the wild card weekend games. There are 6 of them that you have to cover. We'll start.
No, I don't want to talk about this.
I mean, we kind of got to, because when we thought the Chargers charging would be over with the Harbaugh hire,
the dichotomy of these 2 teams is crazy. The Chargers, throughout the entirety of the season, they were 11-5 coming into this game, right? No. I was looking at their standings. They're still 11-6. This is they've played 17 games already, so this doesn't count to their standings. But regardless, 11-6. All right, in the regular season, they had the top scoring defense in the league. They had an offense that was very, very good, very balanced. Ladd McConkey, rookie out of Georgia, was going crazy. They had Quentin Johnson, who looked very good when he wasn't dropping the ball, and he was dropping it less and less as the weeks kind of went on. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, and even Hassan Haskins out of the backfield were looking very good. They had a very heavy set. I mean, look at that. 3 tight ends out there, a massive defensive tackle at fullback. They were looking better and better, and they turned it around. They went from, last season, 8 wins maybe at best. 4 and 13 last year to 11-6, and they're in the playoffs. And they only don't have a home field advantage because the Chiefs are in their division. So they're doing very well. On the other hand, the Houston Texans were coming off of a tremendous first year for CJ Stroud, and then this sophomore slumps hit him like crazy because his O-line gets hurt. He can't get protection. When CJ Stroud is rushed, I still think that is the worst option for him as far as his strength.
Not to mention their wide receiver core and running back cores are depleted for the majority of the year.
Big injuries. CJ Stroud struggling with pressure on the field, and so they started to falter, and a lot of the wins they got were they did not seem quality. There were a lot of wins that they got that was just
And also, they were in bad divisions, so basically they automatically win the division because everybody else was bad.
They had a 10-7 record, and they were in the division with Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and Tennessee, so they had a lot of easy wins.
Yeah, and nobody was expecting them to have all that click with all of that going against him. And then Justin Herbert decided, I'm going to have a 4 interception day today.
Justin Herbert threw more interceptions in this game than the entire season. I'll say that again.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert threw more interceptions in this one playoff game than he did the entire season. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is it was narrated by fucking Patrick.
You have to find the quarterback, see the quarterback.
Yeah, I forgot this was the Nickelodeon game.
My goodness. It's Derek Stingley Jr. And that is going to sting. J.K.
Not only that, you can hear SpongeBob in the background too.
If you are throwing a pick and you have Patrick start losing his mind, it's over, man. Just pack it up. Even the kids know that.
I mean, we learned that all the way back with "That's not what he wanted to cook."
Yeah. So the final score was 32-12.
And don't forget,
I
Harbaugh got kidnapped by the dirty bubble.
I forgot about
there was that too. This was the Nickelodeon game. I don't have
Can we
that.
show the block? Can we show the blocked extra point that got ran back for 2 points because the kicker?
Was it the Mick pick too? Yeah.
Yeah, it came like right after that like huge bomb of a pick. Like we thought they were completely done. It was like the fourth quarter, and then they just the Chargers rattle off like a 90-yard touchdown out of nowhere.
Touchdown to Ladd McConkey. Actually, let's show the touchdown to Ladd McConkey. This guy is
crazy.
Like, this guy is insane. Ladd McConkey is extremely slippery, a tremendous route runner, has great hands. Like,
and I look at this and wonder, why didn't we take Jalen Polk over this guy?
That was third
like,
and 26. And then this guy just turns on the Jets, an extremely fast, very good slot receiver that I think is going to be a problem for the league. And I don't think Jim Harbaugh's letting go of this kid for a long time.
And I'm just sitting here like, we picked Jalen Polk over him.
Yeah. Look at that. Tight window, great throw by Herbert. Right up in there. McConkey drums up, grabs it.
Safety went dumb. The cornerback didn't tackle correctly, and he just was able.
So then you're like, okay,
yeah, and
23, 10-point game, blocked. With this Cameron Dicker is like, let me throw it down, and instead it bounces.
Down. We're gonna bat it into the hands of this defender. I think that was
I don't know.
Ross, I think.
Moss, I believe. Ross or Moss.
Ross, yeah.
Yes.
And they just run it back for a safety.
Run it back for safety. So that is a Mick pick 2. So now instead of being a 10-point game, it's a 13-point game. And that basically closes the deal on it. So 12-32 the final score. Justin Herbert, 14 for 32 for 242, 1 touchdown, 4 picks, 4 sacks. They didn't run the ball very well. 9 for 26 for J.K. Dobbins, 7 for 22 for Gus Edwards. The worst receiving stat, you look at the dichotomy of it. Ladd McConkey was amazing, 9 for 197 and a touchdown. That's insane. Quentin Johnson, okay, probably one of their better receivers, maybe their number 2 option outside of Will Dissey, who is at tight end. Quentin Johnson was no catches, no receiving yards, 5 targets.
Oh my god,
bricks! This man, instead of catching bricks like Jerry Rice did, this man has bricks for hands.
Does he do like off-season training with Kadarius Toney or something like that? That would be the only way that explains it.
Like something, dude. Like I don't know. And Ladd McConkey looks so good. If this team gets another weapon at wide receiver, it's a problem. But Justin Herbert, like, again, I don't want to hear the comparisons to Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow anymore. That's ridiculous. There has never once been a playoff game where it has been Joe Burrow's fault that they lost, right?
True.
Never you're right. Don't compare the two because Justin Herbert made the playoffs.
Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl. What's your point?
Still lost.
Justin Herbert has a defense.
I don't think Joe Burrow's ever had a QBR of 13 before as well. So
yeah, it's been bad. And then on the other side of things, CJ Stroud 22 for 33 for 282, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 3 sacks. Good day for him. And Joe Mixon 25 for 106 and a touchdown. Nico Collins 7 receptions, 122 yards and a touchdown. Xavier Hutchinson 1 for 30. Where was this Texans team the whole year? Like,
yeah, I don't know where this has been the whole time.
I am starting to get. You know how I say that sometimes I get these premonitions and these like voices in my head about like the football gods saying something. You know what's
the Brock Powers.
There we go.
3, 2, 1.
But you know what I'm getting? A vibe. This Texans team, if they continue to play well, there starts to be some of the narrative that it's a team that is iffy, wishy-washy through the whole season, and then they just flip a switch when it comes playoff time. You know what team that reminds me of? Kate, if you're not going to like this,
talk about?
Eli Manning and the Giants. If there was a team in history previously that was so bad throughout the regular season that we didn't think they were going to do anything, and they get in the playoffs and they're a whole new team, it was Eli fucking Manning and the Giants.
Hold on,
and down goes the Old Bay.
Yeah. Can I preface this though? The Chargers Oh wow, the Chargers chargered. That's my argument. That's my argument.
Yes. Now, in any game, it's not 100% on one or 100% on the other. There's obviously combining factors. The Chargers looked horrible, but also the Texans, if they played the way they played the entirety of the NFL season, they would not win this game, but they didn't. They actually were able to move the ball offensively and stop teams defensively, were able to limit their mistakes, and able to keep C.J. Stroud protected long enough to be able to go and push the ball down the field. And that's saying something against the Chargers defense, who has two of the best pass rushers in the NFL, at least still skill-wise. They might have aged a little bit, but Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are not to be underestimated.
Well, neither is Will Anderson Jr. as well, who I think he had a pretty decent day this.
Will Anderson Jr., 3 total sacks, 2 of them solo, 1.5 sacks.
Yeah.
And a tackle for loss. So, again, but this Chargers defense was ripped apart by this very powerful Texans attack. And they were passing the ball really well. I mean, Schultz, Cade Stover, John Mechie III, Hutchinson, Collins, Joe Mixon, they were all getting in the mix. And this is a team that we thought, I mean, if you were to fast forward from where we are, from where we started the season before the Houston Texans played a game to now, we would say, yeah, we totally expected this from the Houston Texans, to be able to win a playoff game, win their division, and move on to the divisional round. We would have not said that week 3 or 4 and onwards because of how bad they played. So it's a tremendous job by the Texans flipping a switch and writing some things around. Now, again, you're going to need a lot of help next week against the Chiefs to be able to be even better and limit your mistakes.
Well, I mean, that's already rigged against them, so...
Because there were 2 lost fumbles in this game and an interception. So there were still 3 turnovers, which you have to eliminate for next week. But at the same time, you forced 4 turnovers from Justin Herbert alone. So,
yeah. As for the Chargers, that defense of yours is going to be losing probably a lot of people. Khalil Mack, Denzel Perryman, Poona Ford, Eli Apple, T.R. Tart. I mean, these are... It's not looking great so far.
You got to take a long, hard look at the problems that happened this offseason for the Chargers and figure out how to fix them and fix them quickly, because Justin Herbert doesn't have forever, and it's starting to look like a Phillip Rivers situation.
Yeah.
So... yeah. Anyway, we'll go ahead.
In summary, fuck you, Spanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
The standard is the standard.
Here we go.
Steelers
going to Super Bowl. Here we go.
Well, I mean, they're going to buy tickets, I guess. So.
Yeah. No, Lob, it's tonight on Days of Our Steelers.
Someone's getting fired. Well, actually, no. Let's see what they were fired. Jesus, Henry.
Yeah.
Frickin' laser beam.
Hooray!
Slow down, baby.
I was going to quote the TikTok I posted earlier.
God damn.
My God. Likely, that man had a family.
Inside the 10, to the 5. Gotta get it to the line.
What a brave man going in the line of duty like that.
You can talk about the pit. Throws on the run.
Now it's my turn.
Mr. Unlimited.
Scoreboard!
Here, hold this.
They're doing the mess around.
I said it in the TikTok, I'm going to say it again. King Henry is the juggernaut.
They need to have a John Riggins.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
Nobody. Especially considering Pickens is...
They need to have a train whistle in the stadium for whenever Henry gets the football.
Oh, yeah.
Choo-choo.
Yeah. Because, again, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. He's just a tank.
He's the juggernaut, bitch.
Again, one of... that was Wildcat, too. Just look at the...
My God. Sir, sit down. Be humble.
Just breathe, damn it. But yeah, one of the keys that I said that I think the Ravens need to do to win this game was to establish the run game, and boy, did they do it. Derrick Henry, 26 for 186 and 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 15 for 81. Not to mention Steve Sims had a run for 15 yards, and Justice Hill also came in 6 for 12. Like this, they ran the ball for 299 yards, almost 3 bills in rushing yards for them, with 2 touchdowns on the ground by Derrick Henry. And in the air, it was all supplementary at that point. 16 for 21 for Lamar Jackson for 175 and 2 touchdowns, and only taking 1 sack while throwing no picks. Amazing day on all facets for the Ravens. Their defense was able to stop a mediocre Steelers offense, and the Ravens offense was churning on the ground and even in the air when they needed to. And they didn't really need to go in the air that much, which is saying something. And the Steelers defense is not a bad defense anyway, so they should be able to continue this repertoire of running the ball very successfully as the weeks go on, even against this Bills team that they're going to play next week. For the Steelers, you had 29 rush yards in total, 11 for 29 on the ground. You only ran the ball, again, 11 times. So, Russell Wilson, 20 for 29 for 270 and 2 touchdowns and taking 4 sacks, throwing no picks. Wasn't a horrible day for him either. Just the Steelers' offense of, like, this mediocre trying to chip the ball down the field and not getting anywhere sucked. Mike Tomlin can coach a team defensively like crazy. This guy knows how to.
He'd also coach them to a 9-8 record where they get embarrassed in the playoffs.
Right. You can take this Steelers defense and on it, like in Mike Tomlin's coaching, and you can stop almost any team with it. Most cases. Obviously, this was a little bit difficult because they have that burly motherfucker running the ball. But
also, the Steelers defense just disappeared. I think they just didn't give a fuck.
They got hammered big time, and they're also down in the dumps mentally after losing I think the last 6 games.
I said last week that this team was giving me 2020 vibes, and I was right.
Yeah. So again, I think the Steelers need a massive change offensively, and the offensive coordinator needs to be able to take the reins of this team and be able to successfully coach them to a level where they can rely on some of their stars, because they have good players. Like Russell Wilson isn't bad. They need to get Najee Harris more involved, and George Pickens is a talented wide receiver when he's not in his own head.
You forget who's the offensive coordinator now.
Isn't it Canada? No, it's not Canada.
No,
it's
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith, yeah.
Also, their whole culture is ridiculous. Like it seems like, as we discussed with George Pickens, it just seems like every time you finally get rid of a diva wide receiver, another one rears its head. So there just seems to be a complete culture shift, and I don't think we're going to see that until Tomlin is finally removed from the head coaching position in Pittsburgh.
It's higher up. It's already burned the second.
Yeah, Art Rooney, you mean?
There's
Artie Burns.
Sorry. Rooney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, there's some people that could be leaving that, though. I'm looking at a Spot Track, their free agency list. Obviously, Russell Wilson's a free agent, but he sounds like he wants to stay there. Other than that, Mike Williams, Van Jefferson, DeMonte Casey, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, Tyler Makatovich, Nate Herbig, Cam Sutton, all these guys are probably going to be free agents, and some possibly gone if they've been here long enough and are done with this stagnation under Tomlin.
Yeah, it's definitely not great.
Because the standard for Pittsburgh is apparently now 9-8, have a diva wide receiver, care about nothing that's seriously wrong with the organization, and then just get ass blasted in the playoffs.
I mean, how much longer will this be tolerated by the organization?
I don't know. No, because Rooney's got to have something mentally wrong with him. He thinks that this is okay, that doing this year after year after year is the model for a successful football team.
Yeah, I mean, something's got to change, and I wonder if they're going to make that change head coaching wise.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Sometimes it's needed for a new coach, just in general. It's like, is Tomlin a bad coach? No, but I think it's time.
Yeah, like Andy Reid. Andy Reid of the Eagles. It's time. And now they moved on to an even worse coach, but they won a Super Bowl because of it. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say for Steelers.
I still take that Super Bowl. I don't care.
Yeah, that's a damn good trade. I'll take that
you
trade.
got Super Bowl. We'll give you that.
Damn good deal.
You did it with Nick Foles. Congratulations.
Yeah. For the Ravens, keep running the football, man. This seems like a run-first team.
Run that damn ball.
John and Jim Harbaugh seem to have traded teams, and the University of Michigan's team is now the Baltimore Ravens in a certain sense. They have a great defense and a run-heavy offense. Continue to lean into that. We'll go ahead and move on from this one. There's not much else to talk about.
I believe the next one was a game we were more expecting to go the way it did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this was the first drive. This was the first drive for the Broncos. This was
first pass,
drive.
I believe, too.
Or not the first pass. This is the first drive here. You're seeing on screen.
First drive, yeah.
So it's the first game Sunday as well. So
because I was working during this, and I blinked, and suddenly they were up 7-0 with a minute into the game.
An absolute bomb thrown by Bo Nix there, and we thought at this moment, at least I did, that oh no, the Bills are going to choke. That big of a momentum swing like that away, going to do that against this Bills defense who's been good all season, but all of a sudden doesn't let many big plays. You're thinking oh no, the Bills are going to collapse. They responded very well. The game ended 31-7. Those points right there in the very beginning of the first quarter were the only points the Broncos scored the entire game. The Bills rallied back and had an amazing day from Josh Allen, who I think solidified his MVP candidacy here with a 20-for-26 performance for 272 yards and 2 touchdowns while rushing for 46 yards.
Playoffs don't matter for MVP.
They don't, but there's also going to be some recency bias. On the ground, James Cook gets better and better each week. They're doing more with him and giving him the ball more. 23 for 120 and a touchdown. An amazing job by him. On the other end, Bo Nix, 13 for 22 for 144 and 1 touchdown and 2 sacks. Not a great day from him, but also it's a rookie in the playoffs. There's a lot of problems there. He was their lead rusher, too, 4 for 43. Not a great sign with Javonte Williams, their usual lead rusher, with 7 for 29.
Fairness, Buffalo does have a pretty decent run defense. So
they do. They very much so do, which is going to be a tested next week against the Ravens, but we'll get to that in a minute. But this was a great response, I thought, mentally from the Bills. They get down early. They maybe came out into that game underestimating the Broncos. They saw what happened. They were down 7-0, and they said, okay, we're not gonna underestimate them anymore. We're gonna go out and we're gonna do what needs to be done. They came down. They got a 3-point attempt here, made it. Stopped them on defense every other time and kept putting on the points and never let their foot off the pedal. That was a great job by them in order to really secure the victory and make sure that they got out in style and got a great win for these Buffalo fans at home who have been needed a good playoff win. Hopefully they'll get another one next week. We'll see. But again, dominant performance by the Bills in all facets. A really balanced attack. James Cook doing an amazing job, as well as Ty Johnson, 9 for 44 on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Any really thoughts about this one?
James Cook. It was to be expected. Yeah,
this is one we kind of saw coming. Yeah,
I was kind of expecting Josh Allen to throw a lot more, but James Cook just coming out of nowhere.
I couldn't help but notice this game would be a lot.
He's saving his arm, bro. He's saving his arm.
I couldn't help but feel like this game would be a lot more fun to watch if it was actually the Bengals in and not the Broncos. But I mean, that worked out, unfortunately.
Yeah, we just the Chiefs didn't want to get us in the playoffs, but they probably would have because we could have beat the Bills and made them challenge a little bit better.
If the Bengals beat the Patriots in the first week,
Patriots would have the first overall pick and we'd be in the playoffs, but whoop-de-doo, we aren't. So it is what it is.
Yeah, Broncos, they don't have too much they're going to lose, but some possible notable names: Little Jordan Humphrey, Jaquan McMillan, Zach Cunningham, DJ Jones, Cody Barton, Javonte Williams, and Riley Dixon. Yeah, there's some stuff they can lose. There's stuff they can definitely keep because I think they have a somewhat decent cap despite the Russell Wilson situation. But
this was
they could probably run it back, and it's not going to be an awful.
No, I mean,
offseason for him.
I think the Broncos did great with a rookie quarterback getting into the playoffs. Like, wasn't a bad year, I don't think. Getting into the playoffs, doing what they did, an amazing job.
Especially with
by them.
Sean Payton's system, which many players that have worked under and coaches that have worked under him described as one of the most complex systems in the NFL.
Yeah,
apparently how thick that playbook is.
But apparently, Bo Nix picked it up really easy, though.
Exactly.
There was something said. And
they're in the playoffs. Bo Nix is playing well. We'll have to see how it continues. They're going to have to, get some new pieces in, but a great launching point for this team. Obviously, you want to go further as a Broncos fan, but at the same time, how much more can you really ask for this team that is so young and really trying to develop themselves? You got rid of Russell Wilson. You got a better quarterback in now. The system seems to be working. You just got a lot of things that you got to fix and adjust. But after that, it seems like you're doing fine. We'll go ahead, I guess, and move on from this game. Good win by the Bills to resume. They're not going to be able to come out soft like that, though, against the Ravens.
Lamy, you want a shot of this before we start?
Yes, please.
This was an ugly game, though.
How about a shot of this?
And the NFL playoffs on Fox, and here we go.
I just heard. I heard Mrs. Wong just go.
Run, bitch!
You're gonna play the.
Did somebody say run?
The ball came out there. Who's going to come out of it? Eagles see it.
2 seconds later.
That's a lot of
Freaking laser beam!
I'm a bird.
No coverage there either.
Freaking laser beam!
Going to take a shot going deep down the far side.
For the other team! Wanna see me do it again?
Freaking laser beam!
What are you waving at? God damn it!
Round 1. Oh my god, this is good.
Good bitch by Goddard.
Goddard. He slowed down just to give it Bellick tip on too. That was amazing.
Here, hold this. Nope. Fast as fuck, boy.
This was a grown man run right here.
When I saw Josh Jacobs
Hooray!
That should have counted. That should have counted for a touchdown.
He was just short.
At that point, it should have been like, it counts. Fuck it. Like,
an Eagles fan is permanently banned because of this game.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. So there was a
video.
video of a guy who was like harassing a Packers fan who was there with his girlfriend.
Called her a dumb C word.
Yeah.
See you next Tuesday, one might say.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, but again, I mean,
Sorry, come from the fan base that their batteries at Santa, so it doesn't surprise me.
What do you expect from?
It's a company excluded. Macedon's a decent old man.
Macedon's decent because he doesn't live in Philly. So Philly fans are it's bad.
Well, I still say fuck Santa because blasphemous of Odin, but still.
Enough. What you got? What you got cooking here?
All right.
Honestly, nothing.
But anyway, rough game for the Packers, especially to start out immediately. Like, you get the first possession, you want to capitalize on it, and then you go out and you fumble the ball. Also, we need to talk about this play right here. This might have been the play that got the defensive line coordinator fired. Look how much time Jalen. We'll go back just a little bit more. We'll count the seconds.
It was just straight. It was just straight contained.
Yeah. So let's see here.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About almost 6 to 7
6
seconds.
and a half. And then not even to mention, he is completely uncovered once that ball finally reaches the off.
Williams decided to not stay with the guy.
What are you doing?
Keep your eye on 83. Dotson here. He's
You're saying
across.
Get this off the screen? You don't want to see it?
Yeah, watch. Williams just doesn't go with him.
Do you have any thoughts you want to add?
Yeah.
We suck.
Yeah.
I think
make sure her speaker's off because Devondre Campbell, Eric Stokes, AJ Dillon, Corey Ballantyne, Andre Dillard, John Fitzpatrick, Bo Melton, Isaiah McDuffie, all these guys could be gone by next season.
No, say those again. These are the possible free agents next year. No, listen. No.
Devondre Campbell.
Wait. No, these are the possible free agents. You need to listen.
Devondre Campbell. She's the one. Okay, well. AJ Dillon.
Listen, whatever.
Well,
anyway,
never mind. Okay, bye.
Anyway, 22-10, the final score. The Eagles get the win at home in a very sloppy game on both sides. Packers, Jordan Love, 20 for 33 for 212. No touchdowns, 3 picks, 2 sacks. Again, a lot of picks for Love in the playoffs started to become something of a stereotype, and it's being proven true, and it's not a good look. Josh Jacobs, though, did everything he could to not let this team lose. 18 for 81 and 1 touchdown. I would have liked to see him get the ball even a little bit more, but again, this Eagles front 7 is scary. So there's a lot of problems with that.
Man, that Georgia D-line of theirs.
Yeah.
Predominantly Georgia D-line, I'm pretty sure.
And again, not having Christian Watson out there and having an injury to another receiver mid-game.
And then another injury to another receiver.
Again, the Packers in the offseason need to retain the players they need to retain, and they need to go out and they need to get a bona fide number 1 option wide receiver. You guys won a championship when you guys had really good guys that would have been a wide receiver 2.
Donald
Driver, Greg Jennings. Even those guys weren't even number 1.
Jordy Nelson.
I'm going to say this. When it comes to draft time, you are in prime position to get someone like Elikai Manor, who is the guy who went on like a 3-touchdown monster of a game against Colorado last year.
There's the guy from San Diego State who was like the best receiver stats-wise in the nation. There's also, I believe, McMillan from Arizona, who's like 6.
Tetai Roa. I don't see him going as far as where the Packers are in draft order, but I mean it's a possibility.
Yeah. You guys need to get, if not in free agency, in the draft, something. You guys need to have a dangerous wide receiver, because right now, if you look at the Packers and their entire wide receiver roster, their best wide receiver would be wide receiver number 1 on any other team with a better wide receiver core. Wide receiver 2, 3, are any of these guys better than Alan Lazard? I don't know.
Prime Alan Lazard. We'll put it
right now, a warm slice of fruitcake might be better than Alan Lazard, but. For the Eagles, they did what they needed to do. Again, one of the keys I said is you need to be able to run the ball well, challenge Rashawn Gary and his run-stopping ability, and they did it. 25 for 119 for Saquon Barkley. An amazing performance there. Jalen Hurts, 13 for 21 for 131 and 2 touchdowns and no picks. A.J. Brown had 1 reception for 10 yards and 3 targets. Not a great day for him. He was caught reading a book on the sideline, which I believe now the author of the book has been able to benefit such financially from it that he's actually paid off all his debts, which is a cool little thing. But
I actually thought it was a playbook just to make sure. I thought it was
no, it was an inspirational book about how to better yourself. I think was the thing about it. So I would not be surprised if AJ Brown, despite how this season goes, is not an Eagle next year. He seems very disinterested and disheartened with the Eagles organization and how he's been treated with his talent and ability. And it's just the way it is, sadly, because you have a very good offensive line and a good running back, and you're getting the number 1 cornerback thrown at you every single time. So more often than not, your partner, Devontae Smith, is wide open, or Dallas Goedert is wide open, or Saquon Barkley is running the ball. So you're just, SOL, shit out of luck. We'll have to see how that displays itself in the offseason and how things move forward. But there definitely needs to be some connection with the Eagles and A.J. Brown. But regardless, you guys won the game, an ugly game, but you still won it. Didn't make many mistakes offensively, but you had a lot of drives that just did not materialize very well, and you're not going to be able to have these kind of games next week. You're going to have to be a lot more focused and motivated with your drives offensively, because if you come out slow against the Rams and you get in a shootout, you might not win that.
Yeah.
So don't tempt Matthew Stafford to put a team on his back. Don't do that.
And you saw, we got to see what happened on Monday on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So rough game for both teams, but I think for the Packers, you lost this game last week against the Bears. You guys lost this game last week. You guys just did not have a mentality going into the final week of the season of what you were going to do. You got guys injured and hurt. Jordan Love's not 100% because of this. You guys should have decided, I'm going to lose this game against the Bears. I don't care. We're resting your guys for the Eagles. Who cares?
Hold on. I want to make a stupid joke. The Bears have more wins in 2025 than the Packers.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
I'm sorry. I saw something.
Undefeated in 2025. Let's go.
The Packers have more playoff appearances this decade than the Bears. Fuck you.
Let me have one, okay?
Let him have one.
I'm sorry. Right. I saw that.
I'll let you have more antidepressants.
All right.
I think you need them.
That's basically all we can say for this game, but a tremendous performance by the Eagles offense.
And then he slows down for another stiff arm.
Okay, also
people were saying the Eagles looked like really sloppy, but at the same time, the Packers defense did finish top 5.
Yeah, the Packers defense is very solid.
Our defense did everything to stay in that game.
Now your offense.
I don't think the Eagles. Yeah.
Offense was rough.
When we lost Jenkins, I was like, "Oh, this is not going to be good."
This was a tremendous game. There was a lot of bad football on Wildcard weekend that wasn't close. This was a very close game. We had 2 very talented offensive teams that would end up in a shootout, and they actually didn't end up in a super high-scoring game. They both played very well on both sides of the ball, but one team had to win, and it was the Commanders coming out with a walk-off field goal, 23-20, the double doink and in, as even a more insult to Bears fans, that you can doink a field goal in the playoffs and still win. Jaden Daniels, 24 for 35 for 268 and 2 touchdowns. He was not sacked. He was sacked once and didn't even throw an interception. He also was a lead rusher, 13 for 36. Again, this Washington rushing attack, even if it's against Villa, was not great. 33 for 82 is abysmal numbers. Barely over double of your receiving rushing attempts. As far as receiving the ball, John Brown and Terry McLaurin both had 89 yards and a touchdown. They did very well. Moving on to the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield 15 for 18 for 185 and 2 touchdowns. Not a lot of offensive possessions. The Buccaneers were not able to get many things going. There were 18 passing attempts and 25 rush attempts. Their offense was kind of stagnated against this Washington defense who performed very well. You could really see the veterancy of guys like Bobby Wagner showing up for this Commanders defense to be able to propel them to the status and mental capacity they needed to have in order to win one of these games. On the ground for the Buccaneers, Bucky Irving 17 for 77, receiving Mike Evans 7 for 92 and a touchdown, Jaden McMillan 2 for 41. This game came down to the very end where the Washington Commanders made a solid drive to get down the field, but the game tied at 20. They went up and they kicked a field goal after a lot of really interesting.
Wasn't there a Bucks fumble that had Washington be on the Bucks 50 or other side? I thought there was a fumble right before, or am I thinking of something earlier?
Something earlier. This was 17-20. There's the kick that ties the game up. There are 4 minutes and 41 seconds left. They start driving down the field under 2 minutes, and they just need to get close enough. It's second down. They get a first down there, 48 seconds left, and they take timeouts to be able to sparingly use the clock. They get down to 3 seconds left. Here comes Gonzalez, the kicker, and it's going to be wide right. Just kidding. Bounces off the left upright and in, and Washington gets a walk-off victory from Florida and will go and play the Detroit Lions the week after.
I only wish when we doinked the ball that it went out.
This was a rough day for Bears fans because you immediately get the Packers lost, but then you get the oh my goodness, the doink, and you get the flashbacks. So a great season for both these teams, I think, regardless. Obviously the Buccaneers wanted to go a little bit further. Obviously every team wants to win the Super Bowl, but I mean there's still a lot of glaring errors that the Buccaneers have, especially consistency wise. Baker.
Yeah.
But as far as the Commanders, rookie quarterback, you win a playoff game on the road with a new head coach and a bunch of new pieces, even if some of them are veterans guys, that, this is a great position for them to be. And obviously they have a supreme challenge against the best team in the NFC next week. But they still have an opportunity to win the game. Every team has a chance. And this is a lot you can ask from a very young team. They're doing in a great position. They have a great head coach. He's probably going to have some votes for head coach of the year, especially when they finish on a 12-5 record. Not bad. For the Buccaneers, it's just like you got to figure out some more pieces to add. Mike Evans isn't getting any younger. Neither is Baker Mayfield, but they both look very good. Bucky Irving looked very good for you guys this year. Your offensive line looked better, but the defense has started to slip from the Brady days, and you need to find a way to fix the bleeding.
Is it time for Todd Bowles to be let go?
Good question, but there's some other guys that could be let go. Chris Godwin, Levante David, Chase Edmonds, Joe Tryon, Shaq Barrett, Mike Edwards, William Golston. I mean, those are some big names I could see that they could be losing in the offseason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is if you fire a coach, who is going to replace him, and is that going to be a good enough person to do it? So if you're going to start looking at a new head coach for the Buccaneers, you need to make sure it's somebody that is going to match the culture that you need to have to win a Super Bowl and is going to be a good enough coach to do the job to do.
And arguably the biggest name on the market this year, and Mike Vrabel's already gone. So what else who can you say would be the second best or fit?
You got college guys. I mean, Marcus Freeman, depending on what he wants to do. You have
Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, there's that.
Eberflus.
There is Mike McCarthy. I don't know if you want that.
Yeah, I mean the
what? Hold on.
agreement telling McCarthy to fuck off a while back was smart at the time.
Question for Ben: will Ben Johnson, who's Detroit OC, will he still stay at Detroit after this year?
You don't know.
That's a good question. Actually,
you don't know.
That's who I'm thinking. Like the head coach candidacy would probably be like Ben Johnson right now.
Yeah.
Also, you could throw Aaron Glennon on that too, because he's their DC. That unit, holy shit! Even with the injuries that they've had,
kept together. Or hell, the Chargers defense coordinator maybe.
This is his first year in the NFL from Michigan. I don't think he's moving on that quickly. Like, you could make an offer, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, would you?
True.
Also, the current Michigan defensive coordinator is getting opportunities to be a DC in the NFL. I don't know if you're moving to OC, but yeah. there's a lot of different options that you could have with the Buccaneers. I don't know if it's Todd Bowles' fault because his team is still very talented. You just need to be more consistent and need to patch some holes in defense. But yeah, we'll talk about the Commanders battering the Lions coming up when we look at the divisional round. Look forward to the divisional round, I should say. So let's go ahead and go to the last game. And this
the Minnesota curse lives on.
Upset. Oh my goodness.
The Minnesota curse lives on.
Going into this game, there were a lot of questions about Sam Darnold and and what's going to happen to him with J.J. McCarthy come back next year. Now there's only one, and that question is, what fast food joint do you see Sam Darnold work at within the next week?
So do you do the same thing with Justin Herbert?
Oh, I mean, I think they're under contract. Justin Herbert. Well, then
true, but Justin Herbert Justin Herbert can't prove himself in the playoffs, but has proved himself in the regular season. And Sam Darnold proved it. This is besides the last week of the season, which was against the Lions, which, I mean, you can say how much you want to say with that, but Sam Darnold has not had a bad game in the regular season until these last 2 weeks. Regular season final week against the Lions. I'm still sticking at this from
a contract standpoint. Darnold's only on a 1-year thing. Herbert just got a mass extension. It's a little bit safer to move on from Darnold than Herbert right now.
True. Definitely a very rough day for Darnold. This technically neutral site game was in Arizona. The Arizona Cardinals were kind of have to open up their organization to the Rams as they had to move their game away from LA because of the fires. So this was in State Farm Stadium in Arizona. The Arizona team ordered the
Cardinals fans, you have to watch your division rival win and move on.
Yeah, and they did it on their field, which is a really nice gesture from them. They also painted the field the way they set it up for the Rams. It looked good for them. The game actually was, I believe, majority of the fans were Minnesota fans, so there was a silent count for both teams. It was basically a Super Bowl-style game. And
my God.
Yeah, there was, 9-27, the final score, Rams get the victory. It was tough. It's insane that Sam Darnold's entirety of his good season, where he was able to really propel this team forward and to a better spot than they would have been without him, is now might be just thrown down the drain because of 2 bad back-to-back performances, albeit against really good teams, one of them in the playoffs, but still, all that gone for seemingly nothing is crazy.
And what's more, while Mamba and Gorlami are laughing about this just adds on to the choking legacy, and I believe life rates just went up in Minnesota after this game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but
as the Vikings, I don't think you let Darnold walk.
No,
I think
really
he proved himself. He was so good for
for the offseason, yes. During the season, yes, but
I just think this helped. I think this helps. What I think you do is you go and you give him and you offer him a deal, but again, he's not going to get max money, especially with these last 2 performances, and this justifies it. Now you go out, you sign him to a long-term deal, and then you keep playing him, and you develop McCarthy behind him, make sure he's fully healthy, ready, and back, and then if Sam Darnold starts to falter or waver, McCarthy comes in. And you start to set up
ghosts, yeah.
Yeah, and you start to set up.
Now you say it.
Again, I don't understand why, but in the division with the Green Bay Packers, how all 3 of the other teams don't understand how to develop a fucking quarterback. The Packers have had 3 straight really good quarterbacks. Again, Jordan Love's kind of on shaky ground after the last 2 playoff performances in the last 2 years. However, from Favre to Rodgers to Love is crazy, while the Bears have done what, Mamba? Keenum, fucking Mitch Trubisky, Jay Cutler, and then who have the Vikings had? Like, they've had a very inconsistent
laundry list of people.
A laundry list of other guys. The Pastronaut last year. Now they have Sam Darnold.
With Teddy Bridgewater, that was injury. That was just
Case Keenum.
That series.
Case Keenum. And then
let's not forget the King's ransom they paid for Sam fucking Bradford.
Yeah, and then you go and you look at the Detroit Lions, and they've had guys before Jared Goff, like Matt Stafford, who they couldn't do anything with. So, I mean, you need to be able to have a good quarterback.
Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, you need to be able to have a good quarterback to win games in the NFL, and so developing a good quarterback and waiting for them to develop is something that can be done and should be done, and you can do it when there's a good quarterback in front of a young guy to teach him how to do things. Now, again, Sam Darnold is young. But
the other thing is, yes, that was Sam Darnold's first playoff game ever. Because remember, he didn't do shit in the Jets because it's the fucking Jets. Carolina
he was on the bench while he was in the 49ers.
Yeah, Carolina was nothing. And then, he was right in the bench on the 49ers. So Like, yeah, this is his first experience playing in the playoffs game. So,
and this was a defensive masterclass from the Rams, who have a very underrated defense. Obviously, Jared Verse has the defensive rookie of the year locked up like Fort Knox, especially after that fumble recovery return for a touchdown. But when I tell you that the most sacked quarterback in the NFL thus far in the playoffs is Sam Darnold, how many sacks do you think happened in this game?
9.
I actually do know, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to say.
9. You guys have all seen the stat. 9. Yeah. 9 times. The last quarterback to get sacked 9 times in the playoff was Joe Burrow, and he won it against the Titans. The blitz looks that were given by this Rams team. Also, what? Hold on. Time out.
Yeah, go back.
Hold on. Hold on. What in the...
Witherspoon.
Superman.
Everybody, here, listen. In the key of G, all right? In the key of G. That was like Nacho Libre from the top. Like Nacho Libre, just I umpire and then flies forward.
I sent you that TikTok, Lob.
Oh my god,
Superman!
Uso splash out of nowhere.
Again, we thought this was going to be a shootout because generally the Rams defense has not been able to hold a candle to a successful offense, but they were dominating the offensive line for the Vikings, which hasn't been bad all year, but apparently when you throw enough blitz looks at them that are confusing, it's going to hit them like this. And it was a travesty for them to deal with. Matt Stafford, on the other hand, then took care of business. He had all 3 of his big weapons, Tyler Higbee, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, all back and ready to go. And then also Kyrie Williams out of the backfield. They had every weapon ready to go, and this Vikings defense just could not keep up with the amount of weapons. Again, this backfield, or not backfield, but this like receiving / running core for the Rams might be the best in the league. Like, obviously, there's some contenders with the Bengals, but, like, the Bengals, they fall off from Gesicki to Higbee. But, you know, like, the receivers, and, like, you have an almost MVP candidate in Cooper Kupp 3 years ago, and Puka Nacua's looked really good from last year. Like, Matthew Stafford just has so many weapons around him. He's like he's working in an armory.
And not only that, like, I'm looking at their free agents. Obviously, Sam Darnold, but we're also including Cam Akers, Cam Robinson. I mean, actually, take it back. There's not too much they could actually lose. I feel like they could do it with a lot of these other like second or third stringers here.
Yeah, the Vikings aren't in a bad spot. I think
not really.
The Rams honestly are in a weird spot. Obviously, they're continuing on the playoffs, so they could win the Super Bowl this year, albeit kind of, you know, unexpected if they do. But they've got some good young talent in certain spots. Their defense still needs a lot of work in the secondary. And then you just wonder how many more years you're going to get out of Stafford and then eventually Higbee and Kupp. But for the Vikings, again, a 14-win season falling apart in the wild card is insane.
Minnesota curse.
Yeah, you need to break this Minnesota curse somehow, and in order to do it, you need to really shore up this offensive line. And some of this is on Darnold not getting the ball out quick enough, but you're going to have to see how well this works next year. So you guys got to figure something out. This was really rough. And a lot of passes by Darnold. He was definitely nervous in this game. There were a lot of passes that were behind guys, not around guys, not looking great. Only threw 1 pick, but again, took 9 sacks. Not a great day. The blitz pressure, though, from the Rams was masterclass. Amazing job by Sean McVay in order to get this defense ready and set up to take advantage of a quarterback that I think he might have drawn from some Belichick in this. Because when Belichick plays young quarterbacks...
a bit.
You know, as a Patriots fan, when Belichick plays young quarterbacks, what does he do to them?
Harasses.
He pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, he harasses them. He sends blitz packages, different offset looks, weird combination of blitz / fallback into man or zone coverages, really weird stunts and engages to really make that quarterback not be able to sit back in the pocket and get comfortable. Because again, if you're not comfortable, you're not going to play well. So there needs to be a lot of change in this Minnesota organization, I think, coming up in the offseason, because you need to be able to establish a good foundation to build a Super Bowl caliber team. And you were close this year, but obviously there were some key aspects that somebody took advantage of. And this is Exhibit A. This film needs to be broken down on a daily basis, and you need to figure out who you're keeping. Because, like, you can't, on a 3rd and 8 in field goal range, you can't keep the ball that long, Sam. You got to throw it. You got to throw it away. You got to roll out and throw it. So there's got to be certain things that you got to be able to identify and change going into the next year. Anyway, let's go ahead and move
I
on.
I agree with Mamba and Lob though to keep Darnold.
I also think
I think it's in their best interest.
I think that this bad performance last 2 weeks for him is going to allow him to be pulled in or brought back to the organization for less money. You're not going to have to pay him in insane amounts like you were going to have to pay somebody else. If he won that game, you might be looking at more dollars, but you might be able to save some money and get some better players around him. So who knows? Anyway, let's go ahead and get to predictions for next week. Our divisional round. We got Saturday and Sunday games. 4:30, then 8 on Saturday, and then 3 and 6:30 on Sunday. So we'll start out with the Texans. Actually, no, we'll go from bottom up. We'll do the bottom up. I'll explain why later. So for the scores, let's just take a quick look at them. There's not going to be too much changing in the playoffs, but we'll keep tabs on them. I'm at the bottom, 226 and 97. Then next up is Gorlami, 234 and 84. Then Mamba, who's 243 and 91. Masson, who's 245 and 85. And then KDF still at top with 263 and 84. There's a possibility he could probably hit the 280 mark by the end of the season. Could be close.
Maybe, who knows?
You have to get a lot of them right.
The only thing KDF's good at right now is predictions.
Yeah.
I have no idea how. I'm like an idiot savant.
You'll see why. We'll start from the bottom up, but we'll start out with the Ravens and Bills. Again, I'm going to give 2 do's and 2 don'ts for each team. This is going to be in Buffalo on Sunday night, 6:30. It's going to be cold. Starting out with the Ravens, you guys need to run the ball successfully. If you guys run the ball successfully and establish the run, it's going to be very hard for the Bills to be able to counter it. They have a good run defense, but again, you can show them some of those odd runs that you see from college. Some of those read actions. You ran a couple of those against the Steelers that worked great. Really established that run well. And the don't, I would say, for the Ravens that you can't let happen is you cannot let the Bills be dynamic. You cannot let the Bills go out and be able to run the ball well with James Cook and pass the ball well. You have to limit them. You need to really make sure that you stop James Cook offensively, stop their run game so that Josh Allen is forced to put the entire team on his back. And then we know, as the gunslinger that he is, that he can make mistakes and you can take advantage. For the Bills, you need... just this opposite way around. You need to stop the Ravens' rushing attack. If you put the entire game on Lamar Jackson, I'm confident your secondary can lock up some of these receivers for the Ravens who don't jump off the page at you. Obviously, Mark Andrews does, but he's not beating anyone down the field on a deep route. You're going to have a lot of short routes from some other guys, and you're going to have Derrick Henry in the backfield. If you can stop Derrick Henry in the backfield, which I know is a huge ask, you're going to be able to really limit this Ravens offense. As you can't do, the one thing you can't do is the Bills. Do not come out soft like you came out against the Broncos. You cannot go down 7-0 against the Ravens and expect to turn it around to be 37-1 or 31-7. You need to come out strong, hit them in the mouth, let them know whose field you're playing on, and move on from there. So those are my 2 do's and don'ts for each, or a do and a don't for each team. So for this is a tough game. This is a big game. This is who's going to basically play the Chiefs or Texans. So in this, with Green Bay eliminated and Cincinnati in the playoffs, come on, Buffalo. Give me Buffalo by 3.
Give me Josh Allen, my beloved, by 7.
I think I trust Buffalo a little bit more in playoffs than I do Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson in playoffs, but it'll be close. Buffalo by 4.
Bills by 3.
I don't love you, Josh Allen, but Bills by 6.
All right, all in favor of the Bills there. We'll move on from that and go on to the game at 3 on Sunday. For the Eagles and Rams, we'll start out, this is going to be in Philly, so I'll start with the Eagles. The one thing that you need to do is do not let this Rams defense out-scheme you. This Rams defense out-schemed the Vikings, who are a very good team. You're also a very good team. Do not let the Rams defense get good plays off, get sacks off, get pressures off. You have a good offensive line, a good running back. Use it. Establish a very solidified dual game running and passing the ball. Get A.J. Brown involved. Their corners are not going to be as good as, and safeties are not as good as the Packers' corners and safeties. This should be a field day offensively for you. This Rams defense should not be able to hold a candle to you. Don't play down to their level, Nick Sirianni. I'm going to say it again. Don't play down to their level. The one thing that you cannot do as the Eagles is you cannot get in a shootout. You cannot allow Matt Stafford and then offense to get traction. Hound them. Make sure you're sending pressure at Matt Stafford. Make sure you are locking down their receivers on the outside. You need to really key in on Cooper Kupp, Nakua, and Higbee, and also be wary of that run game. But again, you have a good front seven to stop the run. You might not even show extra in the box there. You need to really make sure you're not getting in a shootout with Matt Stafford, or things could end badly. For the Rams, your defense has to play big, real big. You need to be able to stop the Eagles when it matters. You need to be able to really key on that run with Saquon Barkley, and Jared Verse has to play out of his fucking mind. You need that defense to show up big time so you have a chance. The one thing you can't do is be inconsistent offensively. Every time you get the ball, if you want to have a chance in this game, you have to score. I don't care if it's 3 or 6 or 7 or 8. You need to score every time the rock touches your hands. This is a team that you're going to beat if it's a shootout. And if it's a shootout, you can't miss because you only have a couple shots left in your revolver. Those are the keys I have for both teams. With all that being said, Matt Stafford has had a great run in this playoffs already. I don't think it goes any further. Eagles by 14.
Give me the cheese shredders, aka the Eagles by 7.
Oh.
Saquon, Philly by 5.
I'm gonna go with my playoff bracket prediction and give me the Eagles by 6.
Give me Eagles by 10.
All in favor of the Eagles there as well. Okay, that does it there for the Sunday games. Obviously, you're going to have the Rams and Eagles at 3. And then you are going to have the Ravens and Bills at 6:30. Really good slate of games there. We'll move on to 8 p.m. on Saturday, January 18th. Lions Commanders, everybody. This is going to be a tough game for the Commanders, playing in Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. For the Lions, this is, I think, their second ever hosted playoff game in a long time. Yeah. Because they were in Candlestick last year for, or Santa Clara or whatever for,
they did host. They did host last year against the Rams, if I remember right.
I think so. Yeah, they did. So no, it's been a couple. Never mind. So Lions, your keys, your do and don't for the Lions. You need to contain Jaden Daniels. They don't run the ball very well. Don't let them run the ball very well. But one of the things they can do very well is Jaden Daniels can create space and time to throw the ball downfield or scramble for a lot of yards. They do some design quarterback runs. Shut that down. Contain Jaden Daniels and punish him defensively. One of the things I would say don't do as the Lions is, and this is mainly on Jared Goff, you got to show up, dog. You've been showing up all season. You have a couple bad games, but most of the good games. Don't pull Sam Darnold. I think the only other quarterback that is in that range of are they good or are they consistent, that Joe Flacco-esque archetype, you're right there. If you let the bottom fall out now, they will ride you out on a rail in Detroit. Do not let that happen. Jared Goff, do not start out slow. Do not be throwing picks. Be on your best game, because if not, you're fucked. Plain and simple. Commanders. As far as the do you need to have, your offense has got to be clicking. Not a lot of rush yards last week against the Buccaneers, and I know that defense is still pretty good, especially Vita Vea in the middle, who's half a ton, but you need to have that offense be more consistent and well-balanced. You have a lot of good options in that offense. Terry McLaurin, who's barely gotten the ball the past couple of weeks. Some good run options here and there, and also the whole young running quarterback that you can really expose with Jaden Daniels to really expose this Lions defense. So make sure you set that up and take advantage of a lot of injuries in the Lions defense. They're down a lot of players. They're still good, but there's a lot of holes in their defense that you can take advantage of. The one thing is the Lions that you cannot do is you can't let Gibbs get crazy. Obviously, the running back core for the Lions is now down to Jahmyr Gibbs and a couple other accessory guys. Gibbs is insanely fast and insanely quick and can get hot in a minute. Don't let him get hot or else it's bad. It's going to be a bad juju for you, and you're going to be in deep shit. With all that being said, I am going to take the Lions in this one by 14. Or, no, 10, actually. 10. I think the Commanders will put in some effort and will make it a close game, but I do think the Lions have the advantage.
Give me the kneecap breaker by 7.
Detroit's biting the kneecaps of the name redacted by 8.
Lions are the only hope for the North. The Lions by 10.
You know how the Commander used to call their O-linemen hogs? Lions are going to be feasting on some pork chops tonight. Give me the Lions by 13.
That's pretty good.
Alrighty. And finally, this is the reason we went bottom to top. The Texans and the Chiefs will be playing on 4:30 on ABC/ESPN on the 18th on Saturday, which is tomorrow for you viewers. It is going to be a tough game for the Texans, but I believe the entirety of the United States outside of the entirety of the NFL outside of the entirely the USA outside of Kansas and Missouri. Wow, that got to me. We'll be rooting for the Texans, and maybe Dallas might be rooting for the Chiefs. I don't know. But the do's and don'ts for the Chiefs need to take really good advantage of C.J. Stroud's struggle with pressure. You have a very good defense. You need to be able to take advantage of that, and you need to pressure C.J. Stroud in order to make him make mistakes. Send them blitzes, send them different package looks, different things like that. The one thing I think you can't do is you cannot let, it kind of goes in tandem, you can't let the Texans get comfortable, because when they're uncomfortable in the season, they struggle. But when they're comfortable, like they were last week against the Chargers, they were hitting on all cylinders. You need to make them make mistakes. You need to put pressure on C.J. Stroud. You cannot let them come out and just run the ball and pass the ball at will. Pressure them, make them feel uncomfortable, get them out of their element. Moving on to the Texans. For the Texans, you need to offensively be efficient. This is a very good Chiefs defense, and the more you can score, the better, because this Chiefs offense has struggled for a lot of the season. And so if you put up a lot of points, it's going to be hard for this Chiefs offense, who has not scored a lot this year, to be able to come back from that. So get on the field, get your offense going, and find a way to beat this Chiefs defense. The one thing I don't think you can do is again, this comes down to C.J. Stroud and pressure. You can't let C.J. Stroud have a guy in his face every single down. You need to create some coverages, some anti-pressure looks that you can stop C.J. Stroud from getting pressured. Now, with all that being said, the Chiefs have had an amazing year, an amazing defense. They're 15-2. They barely won a lot of those games, but they are still 15-2 and only have 2 losses. I think it's going to come down to who wants it more, and a team that's won 2 Super Bowls back-to-back, I don't think wants the third one as much as the Houston Texans won it, and they're going to walk into Arrowhead and win by 1.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, I wish the Texans can win this, but I'm in the middle of the pack of the points, so I'm going to go Kansas City by 7.
I'm sorry, I don't trust Houston winning this because they face against the Chargers charging. Kansas City by 5.
Yeah, I gotta stick with my playoff bracket. Chiefs by 10.
I'm just sticking with the copy of the NFL script I got. So according to this, Chiefs by 17.
Okay, I'm the only one riding with the Texans. Let's go. All right. That kind of wraps up where we're at now.
I was going to say, until the Texans know how to bribe the refs as good as the Chiefs do, they're not going to win a Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, definitely rough. But all I can say is, I'm just hoping. So I'm hoping that they'll be able to beat the Chiefs, because I don't want to see the Chiefs in another Super Bowl. And the sooner they can get out of the playoffs, the better. So, thank you for watching the Football Stooges. This has been our Wildcard recap and divisional round coverage. Make sure you enjoy football. We have the college football final on Monday, and then the NFL divisional round Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you enjoy those games and watch. Enjoy football. There's not much of it left. And most importantly, run the damn ball. And we all said in unison, please save us, C.J. Stroud.
Till you all just decide.
Please save us, CJ.
I'm sorry, I would love to see it happen too, but...
Please, CJ! Save us! Say, I don't want to see Mahomes in the...
Yes, they say a hero could save us.
Won't you come?